All right, folks, welcome back to the Crisis Report. It is September 22nd, 2025, actually September 23rd, but this is your news through September 22nd, 2025. Brought to you by Augusta Precious Metals. If you're thinking about putting your IRA into gold and silver, gold did just cross a new record of 3,700 and change. This is a great time to think about it. Augusta Precious Metals is Better Business Bureau backed. They touted by CNBC and other groups. They are fantastic. They do good work, and they're a trusted place with high ratings for a reason. If you're looking into doing this, please consider them. There is a link in the description, and you can join that as I get settled in and have an information session and then go from there and decide whether you want to go forward or not. So, no obligation. Also brought to you by OUPES, OUPES.com, with their solar generators. They're 52% off plus, generally $500-$600 regularly. Now they are about $300 or so. There's a link in the description for that as well. All right, folks. Hopefully you join me over on PrepperNow for the latest over there. It's more of a political one. Someone said that we were talking about like stats and everything and violence. And someone said that it's, violence comes more from people on the conservative right. There's a lot of NGOs that massage numbers in certain ways. And so what I think I'm going to do, because it's starting to piss me off, is you can't do a cursory look. You can't just go out and be like, hey, what kind of no, because the AI, the Google, all of it, they only take information from groups that are purposefully deceptive and only tell you that a certain group does things because there's a political motivation behind it. So I think I'm going to go out. I'm going to try. I'm a busy dude. I'm saying this now. It probably won't come to fruition. But I have debated this stuff through my degree and stuff. And so I think I'm going to go out and I'm going to try and find some information to destroy that narrative for my friend. He's not over here now. Maybe he's here. But that is absolute crap. So there's a reason why people are moving out to the country away from the cities. And the cities are run by certain political people. So, just saying. All right, let's get started on your crisis report. It is September 22nd, 2025. Palestine has been recognized and Antifa has been declared a terrorist group. So, gosh, it's so good that all the cities are cleaning up now after the Charlie Kirk riots. Oh, wait, that's right. There were no Charlie Kirk riots. No, there's just peaceful vigils and people trying to be, a little bit more mindful of their faith and such just tired of it. Tired of this narrative crafting, astroturfing, utter just like steel lie crap that they put on all of us because it's destroying our society and it's making it dangerous for my daughters. So you wonder why I'm pissed off? That's where my skin in the game comes from. Because as far as I'm concerned, the things that they're doing with all this crap and making our world more dangerous, it makes my daughters have to live in a time of more danger, and my son for that matter. And that means I'm going to go take the gloves off and go with all I have to stop that. Okay, because nobody messes with my kids. All right, here we go. Trump administration plans to announce that taking Tylenol during pregnancy may increase the risk of autism. I had a long talk with my wife about this. She is a medical professional. She knows her stuff. And, she's like, well, it could be. But I started to say, think about all the people now and the way we are in the West. Is autism going off the chain in other places in the world, like Asia or Africa, or is it a uniquely Western thing? And I think it is. And I think the Western mentality, especially when it comes to health, is take a pill for it. So I think these women are sitting there, they're in pregnancy and like, oh, I'm not feeling well. I need to take a Tylenol because that's what mama told me to do when I was growing up. They go out and they do this, and then after repeated use, it maybe has an effect on the child. They used to prescribe methamphetamine to women during pregnancy. So it's a possibility. I'm not saying it's true, but maybe it is. Don Lemon claims Charlie Kirk's funeral was set up to prepare all Americans to submit to Christianity. Okay, Don. President Trump will today sign an executive order declaring Antifa a terrorist organization. They have already done that. President Trump is scheduled to deliver a major speech tomorrow morning where he will outline his plan to end global wars, the UN. Disney has announced that Jimmy Kimmel's show will return to the air tomorrow. U.S. jab panel has withdrawn its recommendation for the Rona jab. RFK Jr. says the jabs are being closely studied because 40 to 70% of mothers with these children that have succumbed to autism think that they may have been caused by that source. I say look into it. All I know is that the numbers are going up. If you look at it, statistically speaking, the numbers for it are going up. Candace Owens suggests the real hitman of Charlie Kirk may have used underground tunnels and escaped them while everyone was looking up. Stranger things. U.S. State Department warns that U.S. travelers to most European countries will soon face new automated border checks with their biometric data collected digitally on both arrival and departure. Gosh, I wish I could get to Europe before all that crap happens. Oh, yes, I did back in June. Why? Because we know this crap is coming. I wanted to see Western culture before it got urinated on by a whole bunch of people from the Middle East. Anti-immigration protests in the Netherlands. About 3,000 people attended an authorized anti-immigration rally organized by the nationalist social media influencer Els Recht at Malieveld in The Hague. Protesters waved Dutch flags and the orange, white, blue Prinsenvlag to oppose uncontrolled immigration. Event escalated when a group broke away, stormed the A12 highway, blocked traffic. Clashes erupted as they attacked people with stones, bottles, fireworks, flares. Authorities then used tear gas to clear the highway and Malieveld, where officials shut down the rally. Burned police vehicles were reported. Some protesters advanced to the city center. Protesters set fire, smashed the windows, D66 party office, and that is a liberal centrist political party in the Netherlands. Protesters chanted, "Get rid of asylum centers." Multiple officers were injured, but no serious protest or casualties occurred. At least 20 arrests were made. Violence and unlawful assembly investigations continue. Uncontrolled immigration has been linked to rising violence and crime in the Netherlands, particularly against women. A 2025 report by the Dutch Ministry of Justice's Research and Documentation Center noted that migrants' overrepresentation in violent crimes by a factor of 2.22 and in sexual offenses by 1.48, despite comprising only 27% of the population. Now, let's just put all that aside. 27%? Am I reading that right? Migrants' overrepresentation. Okay, numbers great. But they are over a quarter of the population at this point. What do you expect to happen? And by the way, backing up my whole pissed off at them thing, yeah, who is it that gets most hurt? That's right, it's women. Crazy. 71 Iranian members of parliament write a letter to the Iranian Supreme National Security Council urging for the production of nuclear weapons. Both gold spot and futures have hit a new all-time high, 37.39.28 an ounce, 37.72.2 ounce respectively. Augusta Precious Metals. Reports of explosions and air defense activity over the Russian Federation capital of Moscow. Yes, that's right. There's a drone incursion in Moscow. I'm sure that's going to end real well. By the way, I saw a video and sent it over to my Telegram. I don't visit there enough, but I can only do so much. It was a picture of a Russian plane, a Jet 747, whatever the heck it was, flying literally like a matter of feet above the tops of like apartment buildings, and they have to do that to dodge the drones. At some point, something bad's going to happen. Explosions throughout Moscow. 7 drones were destroyed, reports the mayor of Moscow, Sobonyan. Residents of Odinsovo, as well as metropolitan regions of Konkovo, Kuzminski, Chertonovo, and the center indicate what has heard at least 10 explosions. In Paris today, someone stole a bus belonging to the public transport system at 5:30 a.m. and drove it around the city for about a half an hour. You can't make this stuff up. You're doing great, France. Glad I saw it when I did. White House spokeswoman Carolyn Leavitt announces President Trump will be signing an executive order designating Antifa as a terrorist organization as soon as today. Antifa is violent, radical left terrorist organization. That's why President Trump will imminently sign an executive order officially designating Antifa as a domestic terrorist organization as soon as today. Russian plane flew at very low altitude. See, here it is. I'm glad I added this. Over buildings in Moscow during the Ukrainian drone attack. According to reports, aircraft arriving at the airport maneuvered very close to the rooftops to avoid drones. All traffic at Denmark's biggest airport in Copenhagen have stopped because of drone sightings. French President Emmanuel Macron at the United Nations, or Nations, I guess this guy can't spell, General Assembly said, the time has come to free the 48 hostages detained by Hamas. The time has come to stop the war, the massacres. There is a pressing urgency everywhere. The time for peace has come because we are a few moments away from no longer being able to seize peace. This is why we have gathered here today. One thing is certain, we can no longer wait. He then told the assembly, time has come, true to the historic commitment of my country to the Middle East, to peace between the Israelis and Palestinians. I declare that today France recognizes the state of Palestine. You mark my words, that is not going to promote peace. Just saying. They can do whatever they want. Okay? They can. But it is going to add. If you've ever been through Paris like I have, and you go to the north of it, like Gare du Nord, telling you folks, absolutely unrecognizable. It's like you took all the people from Iraq and you placed it in a French backdrop. It's crazy. Unidentified drones spotted over military facilities in Oslo, capital of Norway. Sweden's defense minister says they are open to shooting down Russian fighter jets that violate Sweden's airspace. Sweden has the right to defend its airspace with the force if necessary. And the United States Department of State says we have restricted the movement of the Iranian regime delegation participating in the UN General Assembly sessions. Quote, we will not allow Iran to use the General Assembly as a pretext to move its delegation in New York and to promote its terrorist agenda. Just a big old love fest there at the old UN. U.S. Department of Homeland Security published a promotional video with a Pokemon to promote mass deportations from the U.S. Surreal. German police probe political motive as severed cables halt trains. Sure, one of our friends, I bet they were right-wing. Right, far right, far right, far right. U.S. pleads for new beefed-up multinational force in Haiti. NVIDIA is going to invest up to $100 billion in open AI data centers. Sinclair, largest owner of ABC affiliates in the U.S., says it will not air Jimmy Kimmel Live when it returns. Secret Service arrested a man for allegedly pointing a laser pointer at Marine One on his presidential helicopter as it was departing the White House with Trump on board. Fox News says, do you see Hamas as a terrorist organization? To Turkish President Erdogan, who said, I don't see Hamas as a terrorist organization. I see it as a resistance group. Turkish President Erdogan also said that I don't really believe that the war in Ukraine will end soon. This is not good news. You are absolutely correct, sir. U.S. Ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee, said, it might sound like I'm speaking on behalf of Israel rather than the U.S., but let me explain why. Imagine you come to my house for dinner and said, Mike, we really like you. We think the world of you. We're so glad to be here, but then added, oh, by the way, we can't stand your wife. We hope she's not going to be at the table tonight. His response would be, well, she will be, and you won't be. Please leave. Because if you insult my partner, you insult me. You're saying I made a terrible choice. Report on Fox News says a senior official of the Trump administration and source familiar with the details of the negotiations by that Hamas sent letter to President Trump asking him to provide a personal guarantee for 60-day ceasefire in exchange for the release of half the hostages. Letters in the hands of Qataris and will be handed over to Trump this week. Hope it goes through. 50 million plus excess Indian men are mathematically not able to find a wife. More than an entire population of Scandinavia, plus Greece, plus Portugal. These are all incel Indian men now. Underrated how bad this is. Bad for those women, bad for the men. Many of them will likely harass, and bad for the instability and immigration pressure this causes. In India, female babies often get aborted because they're seen as less valuable than males. President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, pledges to invest 150 billion euros in Africa. She wants to create jobs and clean energy on the African continent, and it is unclear what the EU gets in return from its investment, nor how will the EU balance this investment with support for Ukraine, the Rearm Europe Defense Plan, and the Green Deal. Yep, a lot of stuff. I have only one request of the Russian government. If another missile or aircraft enters our airspace without permission, deliberately or by mistake, and gets shot down and the wreckage falls on NATO territory, please don't come here to whine about it. You have been warned. Thank you. And that is Radoslaw Sikorski, Foreign Minister of Poland at the UNGA in New York. Category 5 super typhoon Ragasa has just been hit a new peak intensity of 180 miles per hour. This thing is massive. Sustained winds, minimum central pressure of 905 millibars. The intensity is approaching the upper limits of what Earth is capable of producing. Mega cane. Western venture capitalists traveled to China to assess firsthand the competition Chinese companies pose in the clean technology sector. After visiting several Chinese factories, they told Bloomberg that North America and Europe are so far behind China in battery, solar panel, and wind turbines, EV, and hydrogen manufacturing that they no longer think funding Western startups is profitable and choose to work with Chinese companies instead. So one of them remarked, it's very clear that Western investors live in a bubble in their misconceptions about China. TikTok's new U.S. entity, would lease its algorithm from China's ByteDance under a proposed deal between the U.S. and China. Massachusetts Teacher Association urges teachers statewide to mobilize and help California teachers thwart, quote, Trump's attempt to consolidate power, end quote, by joining a phone bank. Okay. Musk and Trump effigies were slaughtered at a Chicago concert. The band was Gore. And tomorrow, Trump will meet with Zelensky, according to the White House. So, what a world. What a world. All right, friends. That's your crisis report for September 22nd, 2025. We are brought to you by Augusta Precious Metals. We're brought to you by OUPES and their different array of solar generators. Check out both in the partnership area, and the links in the description if you'd like to find out more. You can find us on Gab, Minds, Truth, Twitter, X, Subscribestar, Locals, and Substack. And also, it's 12:27, and the rapture is not happening. So I guess we're good. We'll see. Maybe we'll wake up and thing of clothes next to me for my wife. Oh, folks, keep it in the moment, okay? Keep it in the moment. If you see someone pulling this crap and thinking, oh my God, the 23rd, we all going, it's gone. Flick them in the air and say, come on, man. All right, friends, God bless. We'll see you on the next one. PrepperNow out.